There's ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV.
There's ROCKSTEADY, King of the Pit TV. We're listening to Rage Against the Machine's self-titled record. I'm going to take the tinfoil hat off from here on, okay? Sometimes you just want to talk about nonsense, don't you? This one's entitled Killing in the Name. Have I heard this one before? Yeah, I have heard this one before. This might possibly be the first Rage Against the Machine track I heard, potentially. I don't know how I got into it. I had a mate back in high school who was mad on Rage Against the Machine, and I think he lent me, I don't know what one came first. I had the Battle of Los Angeles on CD, alright? But my mate it was Evil Empire, my mate lent me, but I don't think I spun it, to be honest with you. This one's Killing in the Name. How many views? 52 million views. Mind the You're Not Alone sort of plug here down at the bottom. I am alright. I am of stable mental health, people. It's because of the album artwork. I think it triggers the algorithm. Here we go.
Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn.
When you think about it, when you listen to that riff, it's actually quite an upbeat, positive, major sounding riff, right?
Crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Killing in the name of. Killing in the name of. Now you do what they told you. Now you do what they told you. You do what they told you. Now you do what they told you.
Hey, I got a little bit of insider knowledge here. I was talking to someone who was associated, through one means or another, indirectly to this band back in the day. Zach De La Rocha came from a band called Inside Out, initially. And he was put out on a record label called Revelation Records, which was a... now, I could be talking complete nonsense, right? This is hearsay. I could be completely talking nonsense, so if this is something new to you, blah, blah, blah. And it might not have been that good, to be honest, but Revelation Records put out the Inside Out record. Now, Revelation Records is big... not necessarily a big record label, but a very well established hardcore punk label, a very legitimate hardcore punk record label. They were in debates, they were in negotiation, should I say, to release this record after hearing a demo which had this track on, I believe, against the other labels who also wanted to put it out, i.e. the mainstream, because as we can see, this got put out by Epic Records, I think, a subsidiary of Sony Music Entertainment. So they took the major route as opposed to the independent. I assume that Revelation Records is an indie label. I'd be surprised if not. I would be surprised, especially at that time. So there you go, little something. Correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm talking shit, eh? That's what I heard.
You do what they told you. And now 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 you do what they told you. Those who died are justified. But wearing the badge, yeah, you're chosen white. You're justified. Those that died, but wearing the badge, yeah, you're chosen white.
To be fair, Rage were writing long songs. I mean, we're averaging out at 5 minutes a song for 10 songs straight. That's at least 50 minutes of music.
Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Killing in the name of. Killing in the name of. Now you do what they told you. And 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 now you do what they told you. You're under control. And now you do what they told you. You're under control. And now you do what they told you. You're under control. And now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And now you do what they told you. You're under control. And now you do what they told you. You're under control. And now you do what they told you.
The band's got a fantastic way of developing tension. A lot of tension, and then when the release hits, it creates a great impact, great emphasis on the message, right?
Those who died are justified. But wearing the badge, they get chosen white. You're justified. Those that died, but wearing the badge, they get chosen white. Those who died are justified. But wearing the badge, they get chosen white. You're justified. Those that died, but wearing the badge, they get chosen white. Come on.
This song, if you're outside of England or the UK perhaps, you might not be aware of this, but there's a running theme here where the Christmas number one tends to be churned out by a talent show over here, a mainstream media talent show called the X Factor, where singers go on to showcase their singing abilities, and you do get incredible talent there, but it is just for the industry to churn out a couple of quid before they just end up being blended back into obscurity due to the fact they've been used for their purpose by the industry, by the machine. And not many artists on the X Factor really live a career worth living after their initial investment, so to speak, for that release. And they always get the Christmas number one with either an original song or a cover song. Years back now, people raged against that machine and that process, and it went viral in regards to streaming and purchasing this single to get it to number one and beat the X Factor. And I think it actually did. And this comes into question because we're raging against the machine, right? But my question is, was it Epic Records, Sony Music Entertainment, that was really making the money from all of them purchases, as opposed to the people in the band? I mean, it's been a minute since I've looked into the distribution of royalties as far as the mechanical properties and songwriting royalties and so forth. So I don't know the different streams and myriad of different ways of making the money through that. I think as far as radio play is concerned, the songwriting credits do get paid. So there will be actual money going to the artist through some means, and maybe some residual money. But Rage Against the Machine did win, and I think some radio hosts were a bit frustrated because obviously we've got this bit coming up, which is jam-packed full of expletives. I think everything is planned through some way or another, so I don't know whether it was an inside job and all of that. But I said I'm going to leave the tinfoil hat off. I'm not going to conspire. I'm not going to talk about any of that today, all right? But I think everything is manufactured. I don't trust it. I don't trust the thing. And that was probably through listening to a couple of these Rage Against the Machine numbers back in the day, so I can only blame these lot. And if you thought I was bad here, bro, I was listening to the Body Count record. We've done a listen through the Body Count record. I was just as bad there. I need to stop listening to these politicised F the system bands, man.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Motherfucker!
Powerhouse of a tune, that innit? That build up there at the end, quality. I mean, you know, I would say as a little teenager that sum you up completely, a little rebellious teenager. But to this day, as a grown man, it still holds its weight. Very good, great message. A simple message there at the end, but you know. If you're feeling that way inclined, I guess it really gives you a kick up the arse. Take the Power Back is coming up next. That track number 3. All right.